First of all, I would like to thank Timothy Ong. I do not know how long it took to memorize all those facts regarding my life history. And it's not easy, actually, to remember all those. 33 years old, was Minister of Culture, Youth and Sports, and etc., etc. But as usual, Tim, you've done a marvelous job. Thank you very much. I don't really know what to say about, my life history, except perhaps I think it is, I feel it is a personal honor, actually, a deep personal honor, that I have been given this chance to lead the nation. I'm saying this with great humility. Not because you want to occupy the highest political post in the country, but more than that, I think it gives me a chance, or anyone who occupies this chair, a chance to bring about something that will affect the lives of all Malaysians. When I was young, Tim, I was not supposed to be a politician. You could say I was a reluctant politician, perhaps. But my late father had this idea that I should be an accountant. Not the most exciting of professions, with respect. But he wanted me, at that time perhaps he saw that there were very few Bumiputras in the corporate field back in the 70s, and he lost a very good friend in an accident. His son is sitting here. And he always wanted for me to move into the corporate field. But I took what turned out to be a pivotal decision. I thought to myself I wanted a more broad-based education. So I went to university. I studied industrial economics.
A year ago at the APEC CEO Summit in Singapore, I asked you a question about our then stimulus packages and why you thought they might work. Your answer was very brilliant. And indeed, congratulations, sir. We've done better than expected and are expected to grow at more than 6% this year. The big question now, of course, is the new economic transformation program, the roadmap to high income, which, of course, we're all very excited about. But I think we recognize that compared to the stimulus packages, this is a much tougher one. It requires our GNI to rise from 660 billion Malaysian ringgit to 1.7 trillion, to add 3 million new jobs, and with an increase in funding of 1.4 trillion ringgit, of which 92% is supposed to come from the private domestic investment. The big question is, how do we achieve this in the next 10 years? Thank you.
Prime Minister.
Thank you very much. First of all, the new economic model, when it was unveiled, it was followed up by what you call the identification of the 12 national key economic activities, the 12 areas. And for each of the 12 areas, we constituted labs. And as you know, we had more than 500 people involved in very intensive work, long hours, and the final outcome is the product of a very exhaustive, thorough discussion between the public and the private sector. In fact, more than 70% of the participants come from the private sector. So the figures you mentioned, are all figures actually been churned out through the discussion, and the private sector is part of that. And every one of the 12 NKEA lab, they were challenged whether it is doable or not. They said yes, they held their ground. They said yes, these are achievable. So that's when we decided that, okay, they are doable, they're achievable, not only the sectoral targets, but specific projects, 131 entry point projects, 60 business opportunities. Those are identified real projects which can be launched.